Hello everyone, welcome back to TechSpress. Today we're going to be diving into one of the most popular applications for project management. This one's called Monday.com. So as usual, in today's tutorial, what we are going to be covering up is that we're going to be spending time in figuring out what is exactly Monday.com, why choosing Monday.com. I'm going to be showing you how to set up your account, creating your very first board, managing your task like the dashboard. We're going to be talking about creating your first board, adding columns, adding tasks, setting up automations, managing team members, mobile application, pricing and plans, and maybe just like a few tips that you can follow along after we finish with the actual tutorial. So let's get started. So what exactly is the Monday.com project management? Now, this one is a work operating system that powers teams to run projects and workflows with confidence. If you haven't used this kind of project management tools, it can be a little bit hard to understand how this actually works. But with this tutorial, at the end of the day, you could be an actual expert of everything here into Monday.com. Now, you might be wondering, why do I have to use Monday.com instead of other project management? I'm going to be showing you just like a few quick tips that can be helping you here into Monday.com. Of course, we have a lot of videos to make a comparison between Monday, Asana, ClickUp, and so much more. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to leave you a link down below in the description. But so far, speaking about Monday.com, you have boards, you have different kind of views, you have dashboard, you have great integrations here, you have automations, applications, and docs. There's a lot of things that can be covered in this actual video, but I'm going to be focusing into the project management in order to get started for beginners, for people who don't know absolutely anything about this kind of project management tools. So the very first thing I wanted to do in order to get started is to click into the link down below so you can get a tiny discount for having, let's say, like 2-3 months discount. So once you click into the link, you're going to be seeing something like this. Welcome to Monday.com. You're going to get starting. It's totally for free, no credit card needed, which I think is really, really great. So you want to try out like a free trial version, you don't have to pay absolutely for anything. This is something that is actually I truly loved. So what I want to do is to go into continue with Google. Why Google? Because when I choose Google, it's a little bit much more faster to add my account, to add my basic information, and I can focus into what matters the most, which is creating my first project management. So now it's going to be asking you, hey there, what brings you here today? Let's go and choose personal. I'm going to go into continue. Of course, all of this information, this example, is just something that can be helping you to drive into the very first project management. So you can change the different elements to add more stuff as you are looking for your different projects. For example, I'm going to be choosing design and creative. You can go ahead and look out for construction, IT, finance, legal, marketing, whatever you're looking for. I'm going to hit into continue. And as you can see, you have select what you'd like to focus on first. So usually here, what a lot of people do in order for look out for project management is to focus into content calendar, or you can see now that we have available the project management tool. This one is now available into the 2023. I'm gonna hit now to continue. And now last one question, how do you hear about us? Let's just try to look out for search engine or social media. I'm gonna hit now into continue. It would be nice if you type other and choose TechSpress, but that's totally up to you. Now, we're going to be having the very first board here inside Monday. You can choose to invite your teammates right away when we're just getting started. So if you already have people that are working for you or with you, you can add your emails in them. And you can choose whether they actually worked as administrator or as a member. If you choose member, they can actually add and edit content. If they are administrators, they can invite other people and manage new users. So usually what I do is to import all of the members, and then later on I can update them, upgrade them to something much more let's say professional privileges here. So what I want to do is just not focusing to add anyone here. Let's go into remind me later. And now let's get started working here. Now I have my very first board, and this one's going to be called TechSpress Together. Now let's go for next. And now we have, let's select the relevant columns for your board. So I have the owner, the due date, the status, a timeline, latest updates, and much more. What you can do is to unselect all of them, and then what you want to do is to focus it into the right part of the column, what you actually wanted to see. For example, here into owner is the amount of people or the person that has to, let's say, like the work or like a task that you assign to them. And the due date, let's say that I wanted to let this guy work on something by 18th of October. If this is not the case for you, you can unselect due date. Let's go for status, for example. I know that this guy is working on it, done, stocked. I can unselect this one and I can choose the timeline, for example. This one is going to be appearing like this from the very first day it was starting and the last day, which is like the due date. Now the last update is going to be really helpful to see if this was if there was online something here. I can add my few notes. I can add some files. If you're working with budget, you can enable the budget here, and the priority, how higher or lower my priority of this task is depending on the actual project. So what I'm going to be doing here is just to focus into three things. Let's go for owner, status, due date, and lastly the last update. After that, I'm going to hit now into next. Select one of the items you'd like to manage. You can choose project, you can choose task, you can choose creatives. That's totally up to you. Or you can go and look out for your custom. Let's say, for example, that I work for social media post, like that. And let's go for next. And we have now a view of the layout. We have by default, of course, the table, but you can change this from table to calendar. And you can see that all our tasks is going to be appearing as an actual calendar view with different color labels. Or I can choose timeline, and the label color appears in here, and down here we have done, stocked, and working on it. Lastly, we have cards, Kanban, and Gantt. I usually work with cards because it's much more faster just to drag and drop, and into the upper side I can add more tasks as I am just getting started. But we have all of this view layout into the dashboard, so you can change from one into another one. So you're not going to be having only one through the whole process. You're going to have all the way the 6 of them. So let's go for next. You can change that later. Now, as you can see, let's do your social media post. So in this case, I'm going to go for YouTube. I'm going to go here into TikTok. And lastly, I'm going to type here, let's say that I have Facebook. Let's go into get started. Once again, get started. And just like that, my very first project management table is going to be now being created. So now we are into the actual work management. So now we have set up our account. Let's see what the dashboard has to offer to us. As you can see, we do have the let's start working section. Is going to be helping us to figure out what is exactly into the actual dashboard of the Monday. So if I hit into start working, as you can see, we can learn of how we can get started with different labels. In here, I can change the colors, I can change the labels. I'm going to hit now into next. It's going to be showing you this blues part. It's going to be showing you how you can add an owner of an actual post. You can edit that or delete one later. How you can duplicate an item to save your time. So let's say, for example, that I choose this one like this. Now let's go for duplicate without updates, or duplicate with updates. This is something much more faster to use. You can use the Ctrl+C and Ctrl+U+B. I believe this one is not available in here, so I'm going to hit now into next. Sub item is going to be really helpful. For example, YouTube. I can go for add sub item. And here inside the add sub item, let's say that I can get started to create a script for video number 1, right? And now I have my sub item here, and I can choose myself as the owner. Let's go for stocked, the date. I'm gonna be adding this one by the end of the week. And there we go. So we have now the 3 elements. We have the owner, the status, the date, and the sub item inside the social media post of YouTube. So now, as you can see, I'm going to hit now into next. I'm going to hit now into done. And here into the left part, you can see that we have the main workspace. we can create different workspace as we are just getting started here into Monday. So if you have an actual plan here with a paper, an actual plan, you can choose whatever workspace as you wanted to. Let's say, for example, that I have text press together, but then let's say that I wanted to work with something much more personal. So I can choose plus, and I'm gonna go now to create a new board. Now this new board, let's say that this is personal stuff. Privacy, you can choose the option that says private. I'm gonna try to do this once again because my mouse is not working today. So let's go for private. Let's go here once again for private stuff. Select what you're managing to this board. So let's say that I'm gonna be managing tasks, only tasks like home tasks, like do laundry or clean your room, whatever. So I'm gonna hit now to create my board, and automatically this private stuff is going to be created down in here. So into this workspace, I have the board of text pressed together, and down here I have the private stuff. So I have different ways to see this. Now into the upper side, I have the home section where I can choose to complete my profile. That can be helping me to let people know everything about my profile here. For example, setting up your account, you have already done that. Uploading your photo, enable the desktop notifications, invite team members, complete your profile, and install our mobile application. Now the mobile application can be really helpful for people who are like multitasking and they're constantly like the administrator that wanted to see what people are doing in the actual project management, and you wanted to update all of that as you are working every single day, when you are having dinner, when you are with a girlfriend, whatever. So usually all of that information works into mobile application. Today we are not going to be focusing on that, but if you can download the application, this is totally for free. Just sign with your same account, and all of the information, all your boards and tasks should be added automatically inside the mobile app. So let's go back now into the text press together. Let's try to get started with adding more columns. Now, if you focus here into this view that I kind of liked, this is something that I can change later. As you can see, we have the main table, and I can change this for cards. So I have now the same elements, but now they are gathered different. So if I wanted to add like a new column, I'm going to go back into the main table and I'm going to add something new. For example, let's go here into the plus, add column. And what I want to do is to see just a few label, or let's go for text. Now here into text, what I can do is, let's say, please check your email. And when somebody has the owner assigned, I can select this option and move this right into owner so they can see what I have to say with the actual text. Now usually this one is not that important because what I can do is to try to close this one. I'm going to close this column, and if I wanted to create like an update, like a commentary of that, I can go inside my actual task, and here it says write an update. Let's say, please read your latest mails. Update. And when somebody has the assignment inside the task, they're going to be receiving the update here. They can like the comment and they can reply if they wanted to. They can even add files, they can add GIFs, emojis, or mentioned. So let's go for okay. Like this, reply. And I'm going to be having the notification inside my email, inside my phone number, or directly here into Monday. What I usually do is to download out the Monday directly into my desktop, and then later on I leave this open into my computer, so it's going to be much faster to organize all my stuff there. So now we have created an actual column, right? I'm going to close this. Now let's add our next task. So as you can see, we have created something for YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. So let's say that I wanted to add a sub item for Facebook. So let's go for add sub item. And here I wanted to go for create a new Facebook reel. And now I'm going to go like this. I have now created my sub item. I can hit into the open item page so I can see something much more wider and I can work inside them. So let's say that I wanted to assign this to myself. add team subscribers. Usually you can enter the name of the email. In this case, I only have myself, so it's not worthy to have the actual owner though. Now the status, I can choose the 3 status that are by default, where I can edit the labels and I can create my own. So since this is a social media post stuff, I can choose started, created, default label, let's say posted, or let's say working on it, stuck, done. I'm gonna just delete this because I think we have enough. There we go. Now started, let's go for started. Date, we started this today. Now I'm gonna hit into add column and I'm gonna choose due date. If I can see it in here. If you don't see this, then what I can do is to try to change the columns, but then later on I think that we can just have enough here into the create our Facebook reel. So I'm going to go now into cards, and it's a little bit much more faster and easier to work with cards. So now let's say that I created like my task and I finished the task of, in this case, Facebook. So what I can do after I finish something, they're going to be receiving here into the home section, to the notifications. And then what I can do is to change the status from stuck into done. And automatically the due date should be now scratched. And now we are successfully done with the Facebook post. And I can go back into the main table. And you can see that here, down here, we have this done bar says 66%, 2 out of 3. So it's working really great. Now, if you wanted to create like an automation, into the upper side, you can go here into the right section that says automate. And I'm going to click here into automate. Now the automate is going to be working, it's going to be doing custom automation stuff. Let's say when something happens, do this. This is something that you can tell the actual Monday to do once you are creating something. Let's say, for example, here I have the basics. When an item is created, assign creator as a person. So I can use this template. When an item is created, then assign creator as a person. So what I want to do, let's say, for example, here, I can click here, the assign creator as the owner. That means that when I created an actual item, automatically the creator of the assignment should be the owner, in this case, ourselves. So I'm going to hit into create automation just to make sure that this automation is actually working. I have this enabled. So item is created, assign creator is owner. I'm going to close it. And now what I want to do is to create a new assignment just to make sure that this one is actually working. So let's go here into add social media post, and let's go for marketing your post. Now, as you can see, I created this stuff and automatically I have this assigned for myself. So this is something that's going to be actually really worthy to use the automation. So we have created something truly easy, but if you don't know how to create automations manually, you can add a new automation with some templates, and you can look out for some more. So I'm going to go back from automations. You can go for, let's say, due dates. Let's say every time period synced each campaign from account to an item when date arrives. Let's say that you wanted to tell all your team that when there's only one day before the due date, you send an email directly to all team members to remind them that they only have one day to deliver everything. So you can choose whatever automations you are looking for. So what I'm going to do is to close this. And now what I want to do is to show you the integrations. Now let's go here into integrate. And as you can see, we have the integration center. This can be really helpful to, let's say, go and make your automations move into the next level. So speaking about the latest example that I just gave you, like they needed to receive an email when they have only one date left and they haven't sent the work yet. I needed to have Gmail integration enabled into my actual account. So for example, when status changed to something, send an email to someone. Every time period, send an email to someone. So let's say that I wanted to go here and to add this to the board, and now it says connect your Gmail account. If I hit now into connect, this one should be sending us directly into signing in with Google. So choose your Gmail account, and just to allow the access to Google account to be your email, manage drafts, and here into allow. Now that this one has now been successfully done, we have now the integration automatically. So I can now start working with the automation with the integration now that we have just created. So every time period, I choose this every, let's say once a week, every Monday at 10 a.m. Please send an email, type the subject. Let's go for a quick reminder. Type your email. This is just to let you know that the due date is on October the 3rd. Like that. And send this to have the team members, and you can choose all of them, or you can only choose guest. In this case, I'm going to send this to myself. So I'm going to hit now into add to the board, and now I have the automation. I just want to make sure that this one is enabled, and there we go. And to the description, this is going to be really helpful to, let's say this is a due date reminder. Now you know how thus the integration works. And now, as you can see, we now have something truly new, brand new inside Monday, which is the artificial intelligence builder. So as you can see, the perfect work starts here. If I hit start building now, we have the artificial assistant. This is a beta mode. This hasn't been released officially yet, but this is going to be really helpful to help you understand how this Monday works. And you can use all of the elements to help your project get finished at the actual due date. So let's say, for example, can you describe the project or process that you wanted to manage it on Monday? This will help you understand and suggest the best solutions. So let's say, for example, that I wanted to create a YouTube video once a week, and I want to, let's say, add different tasked inside these items. For example, the creation, the edition, and the publishing, or let's say that the marketing and the publishing. I hit that, and I hit into the enter now. So usually what the artificial intelligence is going to be doing here is going to be asking you, just to clarify, it sounds like you wanted to manage a recurring project in which you create a YouTube video once a week, and you wanted to have tasks related to the different stages involved into the video creation process. Is that correct? Let's say yes. And why did you help me to build something like that? Now, to confirm, it sounds like you needed a task management solution that allows you to create a current task for creating a YouTube video once a week. So is this accurate? Let's say yes. If there's something that you might be needing later, you wanted to add this, so the artificial intelligence assistant can be having you a stronger solution there. So now I have the perfect, let's move on. Here's a solution that I believe will be working for you. Let's say board number 1, video production schedule. I have tasked a schedule to do, in progress, done, and due date. With this board, we can do this and that and those. So this is something that we have created before, but this is something that can be helping you if you wanted to get started, like to make the artificial intelligence do this by itself, and you don't have to do absolutely anything. Just get into yes, get started, create my board, and automatically the artificial intelligence should be creating the board with all our needed automatically. So I'm gonna hit now into take me there, or just click into the video production schedule. So I'm gonna close this, and as you can see, now we have been created a board with some item, tasked status, and a due date, and we have everything here inside the actual folder. So as you can see, the artificial intelligence is going to be helping us to do stuff much more faster, and we can even ask to create automations by ourselves, and you can add this directly into the main workspace, in this case TextPress together. Now if I focused into the section that says add view, I'm going to change this into calendar. Now as you can see, we do have this calendar view that can be helping you to figure out the actual due date. For example, we are actually in here, so I can change one task to another due date, or I can just click to one and I can change the status, I can change the latest update, the owner, or the actual group where this one actually belongs. So the calendar should be really helpful. I can add another view. As I just told you, you don't need it to work only with main table, cards, or calendar. I can add, let's say, add view, and I can go for Kanban, for example. Now Kanban is going to be really helpful because you just need to drag and drop stuff that we are working on. Let's say, for example, that I created an actual YouTube video, as it says here, into the sub item, create a script for the video. So I created this and I created the whole project of YouTube. So I just needed to drag and drop into done, and we're actually good to go. And I can create a new post. Let's say, for example, here, new social media post, group this mode, owner, status, edit labels, and I can create my new label. Let's say created, apply, create social media post, and just like that should be added in here. You can move this from one place into another one, and we have the completed bar here into the upper side. So there you have it, guys. Now lastly, before we go, let's check out the actual plans that Monday has to offer to us before we finish the actual video. Now, as you can see here, we have the free plan available, and we are using it now. We have 14 days left for the free trial, and now after that, it's going to be asking you to upgrade for the basic, the standard, the pro, or the enterprise plan. Usually what a lot of people do is to focus into the standard plan. Why is that? Because this one actually has all of the basic plans, but now you have the calendar view, the guest access, the filter, two-way email integrations with email, calendar synced, automations, and integrations. So if you have like the basic plan, I must tell you that you don't have access to integrations and automations. So if you're working with a project management, I truly believe that the integrations and the automations can be helping you to manage your actual team members, and they can be working much more fluently, and the price is not that expensive. You can change to the pro plan if you wanted to. This one actually comes with the time tracking, automations, once again, a few much more automations, resources and allocation and management. I believe like the standard plan comes with fair enough stuff, so the decision should be actually just up to you. With that being said, guys, we have now reached into the very end of the video. So you now know how to work into monday.com. You now know how to work with the social media stuff, with project management, whatever tools you're actually wanting to work with. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more great tools to work here into monday.com. If you wanted to check that out, more great places to work, let's say for example Asana, there's Notion, there's ClickUp, there's actually a lot of project management tools you can check out down below in the description. I'm going to be leaving you the link of our video comparison so you can figure out which one fits for you the best. Once again, thank you so much for watching the video. We can't wait to see what you actually do into this kind of application. So guys, I will see you next time.